Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. So yesterday, in doing work with my Fumbi, and through the ferocious and beautiful path of Palomeombe, the topic of epidemics and diseases came in. Something that on my blogs I've been following for many years now, at least 2013, of tracking and following Disease X. And in my blogs, I even mentioned that it would probably start again in Africa. And we come to learn that there was secret chemical weapons labs in Madagascar, and that they were working on a weaponized strain of Ebola that they would release, and they would track the spread. They would see the fatality rate, and they would collect samples from both dead and living tissue, take it back, redevelop it, and release it again. That they were using also the Republic of the Congo in Africa, of course, as another testing ground to see the spread, its fatality, and its incubation rates. About a month ago, there was an influx of Congolese refugees that got brought in and up through Texas, San Antonio areas. I know, and I'll be careful what I say here, through Arizona and a little bit into California. The issue wasn't necessarily to spread Ebola, but to intermingle with a lot of the migrants sneaking in through Mexico who have also been given diseases, most of them unknowingly, and hoping that the Ebola, the weaponized Ebola, and the weaponized influenza coming up through Mexico will start to intermingle and transmute and become an extremely virulent and dangerous combination and create a lot of disease and instability, a lot of sickness, and help further the creation of what they call Disease X. There was even a big quarantine in Southern California not long ago. They kept it very quiet, but these things are happening. And so I was going to talk a lot about that today, but fuck, did you see Elon Musk? For fuck's sake. Like, that really, really freaked me out, because that is something that I've been talking about for, on YouTube at least 10 years. I was on YouTube discussing human trafficking, child trafficking, the harvesting of the pituitary glands, especially out of children, back in like 2008. So this really had me freaked out. And so working with my Fumbi today, I wanted to be very clear in what I was seeing, what he was showing me, in what I was seeing through my Mpaka, which is right here. And honestly, it's everything that I've been warning about, everything that it's been frightening me, and this is bad news. This is really bad news. So the gist is that by 2020, Elon Musk says that you'll be able to commercially go into one of his centers, which will probably be kiosks in the mall, trendy little shops all over the place, and have a thread or a series of threads implanted in the back of your head. And it would, of course, carry thousands and thousands of electrodes into your brain. And it would be very small. No one would ever be able to see it. But it would essentially work like a cell phone directly to your brain. I mean, if you haven't heard this, you need to look this up. This is Elon Musk. This isn't, some crackpot guy. This is a guy whose company means to do this and will do this. So he is saying to you, yes, we will have an implant, not necessarily a chip, because that carries some negative connotations for consumers, but it is a neural thread that's going to connect you and keep you online all the time through the web, which is really interesting because last night I had this dream of this extremely large spider, maybe the size of, I don't know, like a Buick. And I had seen the spider before. Somehow I knew in this dream that this was not good, and everything was connected in its large webs, and it was way, way up on a ceiling that was 30, 40 feet taller. And I could look up and I could see it. And it was climbing around, and it had eyes all over its body, big, giant, multicolored eyes that all looked out into different directions. And it was very aware of me. And in the dream, I was saying, "Today's the day, spider." And I was looking to find some way to kill it. And I realized I was dreaming and became lucid in this process. And its ability to keep continually waking me up out of this lucid dream was something I've never experienced before. I went back into that same dream 4 or 5 times, and I would realize that I was dreaming again. I would go through the process of waking myself up in the dream, seeing the signs that I've programmed myself to see, and again, go hunt down that spider over and over again. And suddenly, the moment I realized I was dreaming and became lucid, I would see all the webs. I would pull the webs off me, and I would go hunt down the spider. And every time I'd find it, it would send out this vibration that would just wake me right back up. Finally, about 6 o'clock in the morning, I just decided, yeah, okay, maybe tonight. So I'm working with my Infumbi tonight through Palo Mayombe, and I'm going to attempt to hunt down and kill the spider. But then I heard what Elon Musk was saying about the neural threads and the web. So this is spider's web. This is neural threads. This is the connectivity to a global transmission of whatever the fuck they want you to experience. This thread is essentially the zombie horde. Don't think for 1 second that they're not going to weaponize it. Don't think for 1 second it's not already weaponized. So you can imagine all these trendy liberals going out and getting this because it's cool, because Google told them to, because they've sold out wholesale. But not just liberal people. We're talking about just young kids in general who will grow up and watch a couple TV shows. Maybe even Stranger Things will have some sort of neuro connectivity that will, make it really cool and really hip to have this thing in your head. And of course, they're going to go get it. Kids will follow whatever their parents do. So, look forward to that. That is the zombie horde, because the moment you get a huge portion of the population, maybe not even huge, half, well, I think half is a huge part of the population, you can hire one half of the poor to kill the other half. And if you have them linked up with a neural net that's sending out and making them crazy and making them want to kill, they're going to turn on anyone who doesn't have this chip. And that's kind of, I think, really the point. I think the incentive here is that they're going to give you a lot of free stuff. They're going to give you free digital money. They're going to give you a lot of just kind of trivial bullshit that is being pushed on as having meaning, and increase your social score, your social credit score, to get this chip. And then whatever happens. Good chance you might not even remember that you were one of the people that were put out there and went around and killed your neighbors and your family and attacked everyone because you have these neural threads in your head essentially telling you what to do. I'm not sure why people would consider this bullshit. It is in the longest time. This is DARPA. This is DARPA admitted programs where they've put chips into the brains of cockroaches, into the brains of rats, into the brains of fish, into the brains of monkeys, and transmitters and transistors. And they can manipulate and control, and through impulses, electrical impulses into the brain, into very specific areas that create and control brain chemistry, they can make you do whatever the fuck they want you to do. If by now that seems so science fiction, you can't handle it, you are 30 fucking years in a hole. You are just too stupid to probably even reach. But for those who see this, for those who say, whoa, holy fuck, I gotta warn you, this is gonna be top level dangerous shit. And what reminded me a lot, for which my Infumbi reminded me of, was 5G. I've been looking for, things about 5G network, and I know when they released it actually a lot earlier than they claim, but this is what 5G is meant to do. This is the technology that 5G was really designed for, was connectivity into those neural threads. I just so I keep going back to the human cordyceps. All right, the zombie mushroom for ants and for moths and for every single insect, as far as I know, they have a cordyceps. A cordyceps that infects, a fungus that infects the insect, takes over the host, explodes out of the head, and essentially directs the insect to go to the most favorable location for it to die or kill itself, so that this cordyceps can continue on. Now, from the human perspective, other cordyceps are good for humans, but in truth, I know even from the 1940s with Robert Wassler and him being a CIA asset where they were sending him down to study mushrooms, they were looking to weaponize it, and I believe the holy grail for them was the human cordyceps. Which goes to Terence McKenna, which now goes to Joe Rogan. There's a demonstrable line of CIA shills who have pushed the DMT, which, trust me, I have nothing against it, but it is how it's being used. There's no Western concept, there's no Western context for people to use DMT because you're not connected necessarily to your ancestors, and that is what those tribes in South America use it. It's called the Vine of the Dead. They use it to talk to their ancestors, but yet you guys use it to go talk to crystal elves and light elves and stupid bullshit that I know was created in DARPA white papers to give you something to go look for. So whether or not these are entities that they had already established contact with and had promised to send you to them, or some sort of masturbatory intellectual mental construct that they want you to go find to keep yourselves busy because you think you're being a psychonaut. I'm not 100% of that, but I know the experiences that you're having are very inauthentic with say DMT and with say a lot of the psilocybal mushrooms. So be really careful. Get authentic and then have these experiences, but don't rely on them. And it's just that's just one. I kind of went off tangent, especially with the mushrooms and Wassler, because essentially and DMT. So you have these prophets of the new age, Carlos Castaneda being another one, who are all CIA assets, who all come out of Berkeley, who all come out of UCLA, who all come out of California universities, perhaps Chicago University, whatever, that are well known for being overrun by CIA. And this is where they train their professors to teach a very specific propaganda to pass it on to another generation. It really doesn't take a genius to figure this out. In order to win the hearts and minds of people, you can't take them over directly. You have to seize their thoughts. You have to manipulate their hearts. You have to take over essentially their spirit, because if you try to force them in a cage, they hate you. But if you teach them to think your thoughts, to feel your feelings, and to have your logic, then they resonate with you. It's really fucking basic. It's super fucking simple. But you've been taught that, that there's going to be the invading army, there's going to be the Red Dawn. That shit is so far away, and by the time that happens, it's way too late. The Nazis figured this out when they tried to take France, and they realized that they could potentially win, but because they would have to fight and fight and fight and kill and kill and kill and destroy and use all their weapons, that they would never, ever, ever truly submit the people. They would never beat America. They would never beat other countries, because there would always be a resistance front. And so they're like, fuck it. Let's pretend to lose. Let's take over them through financial means, corporate means, educational means, and they can believe they won. But we'll be feeding them bullshit for the next 5-6 generations. This is long-term game. This is long game. This is stuff like that kind of suggests that they've been able to look interdimensionally for a very long time. Maria Orsic was no joke. This chick was on the level. And her ability as a medium, her ability as a seer and as a psychic and as a communicator was on point. And those things that she communicated with, they helped this regime, because it wasn't just the Nazis really at this point. It is something else. Something very anti-human. And so looking at this transhumanist agenda, if you want to destroy the human species, you just make them not human anymore. Why is that so difficult to understand? So if by implanting a chip in your brain that can, in all circumstances, control what you think, how you feel, how you move, what you say, are you even you anymore? Honestly, no. You're infected. You're infected with a techno-cordyceps. You are a techno-zombie. That's what you are. And all those movies that you watch where all those guys are out there, men, women, children, standing up against the zombie horde, you're not going to be one of those heroes. You're not going to be fucking, I don't know, what is that goddamn show I don't watch? Walking Dead. You're not going to be that sheriff guy, all right? You're going to be one of the walkers. A mindless, stupid, autonomous, eat and kill machine for whoever is pulling the switch. You're no longer the star in your own life movie. You're a dumb as fuck techno-zombie. Sound good? Excited about that prospect? Is that where you want to see yourself? There is so many things with this that I am really filtering through what I want to say, and just how much this validates everything that I've been saying for, God, 12 years now, 10 years at least, on YouTube through various means, being very vocal about it, understanding that it's no longer about money. I mean, the whole process, I don't know. I mean, whatever fucking word you want to use now, sort of the Anglo-Saxon conspiracy. I think words like Illuminati and deep state have been just so outmoded and overused and incorrectly put out there that they've lost all meaning. Maybe we go back to the old one of the old ones, Anglo-Saxon conspiracy, where their whole goal has been to keep you as human chattel. What better way? What better way than to put something in your head and control you straight out? What better way? I mean, we all obviously carry our cell phones. And I've been telling people for, God, 10 years now that the cell phones will send out signals, will affect your behavior. There are some cases where I know this has happened, and through mediumship, I figured it out and told others, and they actually have proof of this, where as someone is in their sleep cycles, their phones have emitted certain frequencies that absolutely affect certain parts of the brain and affect their dreams, affect their mood, affect a lot of stuff. So, and here's the other thing too, guys, really, and God, my spirits are talking. These neural threads are made in China. You want to talk about one country that has made it their life's fucking mission to overthrow the United States, to take us over, it's China. So if all our cell phones are made in China, if our cameras, our microphones, our laptops, our neural threads all lead back to China, you think that's where it ends? You think they're just like, well, we're not going to spy on them. We're not going to influence them because this is war. And they don't mean to go before some sort of war crimes tribunal. If you rule the world, if you are the biggest, baddest bully on the block, who's going to force you to go to court? Who's going to force you to pay any fines? Pro tip, fucking nobody. So consider that. Google, which is essentially all but admitted to being absolutely owned by China, built the Great Firewall of China, there is no Russian collusion, you morons. It was Chinese collusion, and it wasn't for this administration. There's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, you love Trump. No, I just love someone who's not looking to sodomize our future and our children. I know it's weird. It's weird that I'm not cool with pedophiles and a whole group of individuals who have had to, through the need to keep control, to hire individuals, to put individuals who are highly compromised in positions of power that they control. And guess what? If you were offered the ability to watch, I don't know, maybe a murderer or a pedophile get eaten by a pack of wild hogs, who'd you pick? I'm going to go, the majority of people are going to say, I would love to watch the pedophile get eaten by a pack of wild hogs. So if you want someone who you can control, because you can throw them to a pack of wild hogs and really the population isn't going to fucking care, well, you hire the pedophile. You look through and find out statistically, psychologically, who these sociopathic fucks are, and hire them because you know they're not going to be able to stop, but you also know that you could destroy them in a moment if they turn against you. Thus, you have the infrastructure, the hierarchy of the Anglo-Saxon conspiracy, of the deep state, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Again, it's not difficult to figure out if you follow exopolitics, if you read DARPA white papers, if you read 1984, if you read Brave New World, if you read the works of Huxley and Orwell. It's not difficult because they spell it out for you. That's what the plan is. That's always been the plan. I remember Huxley saying, we're going to drug you. We're going to make you into a happy submission. You're going to be slaves. We're going to drug the water supply. We're going to chemically sedate you. And guess what? They have. They haven't lied about that. You've just been lied to. If you look around, ask your grandpa, ask your grandma, if they don't have Alzheimer's, what the world was like for them back then. And they will tell you that they were stronger, healthier, men were men, women were women, and there wasn't this weird gender confusion. There wasn't this bizarre issue of who does what, and people were strong, and people didn't want servitude. They wanted to be free. They wanted to live their lives and be left alone and leave others alone. This is very different than the way it is today. And I don't care if people have different sexual orientations. I don't care if people believe and fully, truly desire to be the opposite sex. That's fine. That's not the issue. The issue is when you implant and create the environment for purposeful confusion to disrupt a society. That's a problem. And that's furthermore what these neural threads are going to do. They're going to create that confusion because the companies that put them in your head, that's the purpose. It is a weapon. It is a mind-controlled device through electronic means that are going to fuck you up. And Elon Musk is the one telling you this. Man, would you love to know then what is available now? Trust me, look up Elon Musk. Have him talk, listen to him talk about the neural thread. Listen to him explain how they're going to put it in and what it's going to do. Of course, it's going to help certain people because you don't sell it as, hi, I'm Elon Musk. I have a neural thread. I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to destroy your life and I'm going to turn you into a zombie. Because as dumb down as this populace is, the admission of truth, no one's going to do it. But if you sell it from the standpoint of, well, yeah, we can help certain diseases and paralysis. People with paralysis are going to be able to move again. Of course that's a good thing. Why isn't that a good thing? That's a medical fucking miracle. But you have to always wonder whose finger is on the trigger. And these people, time and time again, have fucked you over, lied to you, used you, abused you, extorted you, almost to the point of Stockholm Syndrome. As long as they give you free money, as long as they maybe leave you alone for a little bit, you're okay with it. You're not ready yet to stand up and say you're mad as fucking hell and you're not going to take it anymore. But soon, hopefully, you will be. Hopefully, that spark inside you that says, I'm not going to handle, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not going to live in this world. Ignites into an evolutionary, revolutionary fucking bomb that once it goes off, you can never, ever, 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 ever go back. You will never want to be connected in that way. You will seek true human connection, true spiritual connection. And let me tell you, you guys really need to get right with whatever spirituality you pick, something authentic. Because my spirituality has been warning me about this for 15 fucking years, has been telling me, be careful. And I have a lot of people now who have tried to physically hurt me, who have tried to slander me, who try to lie against me, who try to spread a whole lot of bullshit that is not true. And the more these things that I've talked about for the last 10 years get revealed, the louder, more bolder they get, because either they know that their lies, their stupidity, their ignorance, their jealousy is about to come crumbling down, or because they are not authentically connected to anything and they are simply driven by social whim. And they're zombies already. So give that a really good think over. What are you going to do? Are you going to stand up? Are you going to seek true connectivity with other humans? Are you going to find true spirituality? Are you going to find true physical health? Are you going to find true mental health? Or are you going to connect and be a digital techno-zombie, connect with a Google facsimile of the world, have images and thoughts that aren't your own projected to you so many times a day that you begin to accept them as your own because you can't live life without them? And I guess they'll augment reality for you. You know, if you're willing to do some shady shit, if you're willing to, vote a certain way, if you're willing to give up an organ or, maybe strap into a seat or something and let them, harvest an organ and take blood, maybe they'll hook you into some sort of like augmented reality where your avatar is a superhero. Your avatar is a fucking, porn star. Your avatar is a celebrity or whatever it is you want. As long as they can just feed from you and drain you dry, then they're going to give you everything you want, because it takes nothing for them to project some sort of digital bullshit into your mind, which then you perceive as real, wink, 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 movie Matrix, for them just to take what is real and to give you what is bullshit. And as long as you feel good about it, you'll do it. The whole DARPA thing, they strapped up chimpanzees. They gave them food. They gave them every opportunity to leave. And these chimpanzees picked being wired up and having dopamine levels slowly increased in their brains rather than eat. They could have escaped and left anytime they wanted. They starved to death in their own little comfortable barber chair-like devices. That's where humanity's going with these neural threads. Time to wake up. It is time to snap out of the dream. It is time to realize that you're dreaming right now in a very real conscious level, that you are asleep, that you need to wake up, that there is a spider web all around you, and you need to start pulling those webs off you. And you need to very intelligently begin to re-examine your life and see who and what is pulling your strings. Because it's coming to a point when Elon Musk, who has warned you for the last 5 years to beware the AI, beware, he is terrified and doesn't know what's going to happen, to suddenly come out and then just be like, absolutely guys, here it is. Here's the connection to the AI. Here's how you're going to upload to it. Either he's been neural threaded and is being essentially mind controlled. They have compromised him to the point where he's going along with it. Or, and I am remiss to say this, I don't want to say this, but I have inklings as though he has been part of this, kind of unfortunately, what I've been saying for a long time. and has got you to trust him by issuing you warnings. And it's sort of like, oh yeah, Elon's a nice guy. He wouldn't do anything to harm us. It's sort of like Ted Bundy. Yeah, he real nice guy. Nice guy. Pick him up. Sweet, young, innocent women. He's a clean-cut, good-looking, athletic, smart, funny guy. Picks up women. They have no problems with him because he's not, 6'8", tattooed, crazy guy with stringly hair and missing teeth, which they're taught to be afraid of. No, he's a nice, clean-cut dude who seriously ripped women apart in his basement, bit off chunks of their flesh with his teeth, cut out their vaginas, sexually, sadistically tortured them. But hey, he looked like a nice guy. So consider what Elon Musk might really be, and really truly consider what you're connected to. I know what I'm connected to, and it sure as shit ain't that fucking nonsense.